what I said, connect the electronics design process, the electronics design people, directly to the manufacturing floor. That's its real point. So, what is it? What exactly is Altium365? Well, it's a platform that connects all of these stakeholders and disciplines together. It's a platform that sits on the cloud. And whether you're a mechanical designer or you're parts procurement, you're in fabrication or assembly, it connects all of these things together in terms of the way that you work and the way that you can share information. Because it's cloud-based, you don't have to do any kind of installation. You don't have to configure any kind of servers or do anything like that. It's just there with Altium Designer. It's a part of your Altium Designer experience. And more so, what you'll see is not just an Altium Designer, but it's actually accessible through a web browser. So your manufacturers don't have to learn Altium Designer. Your procurement people don't have to learn Altium Designer to get insight into the BOM. They're going to be able to see that really easily. So imagine that you could effortlessly share your design progress with management, with purchasing, with a potential manufacturer in a way that's really easy for them to do it. Imagine that, Leigh. No, actually, let's not imagine it. I'd actually like to ask if you could show it to us. So let's see it for real.
I'd be delighted to show you, Ted. Could we cue 9, please?
So Leigh, if for example, if I was a manager and you were doing a design for me and I wanted to know what's the current design status, or for example, if I was in procurement and I want to know how's that BOM evolving, I want to get some insight into that in preparation for a prototype build, how could this help me?
Okay, so first thing I want to introduce you guys to is, or say, you don't actually have to go to Altium Designer. For the Altium365, Altium Designer is actually going to come to you. So what you can see up here on both of these screens is a web browser. It's got a kind of Google Docs style interface to it where I've got this very CAD-centric view into my design data. And I can control what's available online with a very simple kind of checkbox to make this available in my private workspace. And when you make these designs available, this is the web interface that you would actually see for those designs. As you can see, like I say, it's very intuitive. It's got this kind of Google Docs, CAD-centric kind of feel to it. I've got various projects that I've got set up here today. On the right-hand side, we can see various properties about these projects. We can see activity streams, things that are actually happening on that. Like I say, it's just very easy, very smooth. We can access this from anywhere in the world, any browser, any time, any point. You don't have to have anything installed. There's nothing you have to download. You can just come here. It's there. It works.
So how would I make this available to somebody, though? I mean, how does that work? Do I need to teach them some kind of new workflow, or how does that work?
Actually, not at all. You know, it's literally like using OneDrive. So inside Altium Designer, I can make a project available online. Like I say, that doesn't make it publicly available online. It makes it available privately online within my workspace. And what I can then choose to do is make that available to others. So, you know, other stakeholders in the project, procurement personnel, manufacturing people. There's really kind of fine-grained access control where we can actually control what we're sharing and what we're publishing to who. Very simple, very straightforward. And of course, we can push that online and take that offline at any moment in time.
So my designs aren't publicly accessible. They're only shared with whom I want to share them.
Not at all. It's completely controlled by you and what you want to, and who you want to provide access to. Exactly.
Okay, well that sounds pretty easy, but let's kind of get into it a little bit more. What if I actually want to see your design? Those are nice thumbnails, but I want to know what's really going on.
So let's go a step further. We can just double click on one of these and open up. So what we've got now, what's actually opening up now is a design-centric kind of CAD-centric design view in the browser. So you can see that this has a real kind of Altium Designer kind of look and feel to it. You know, so if you're coming from Altium Designer at all, you'll recognize the kind of layout and structure of the page, etc. On the left-hand side, we've kind of got this navigation menu. So this is where I'm seeing the design assets like schematics and so on and so forth. Everything that's associated with that design. Right-hand side, I've got some other panels like properties panels, etc., where I can actually start to inspect that design and what have you. We can just quickly open up one of these schematic documents. And we've got the ability to zoom in on them, we can pan around, inspect them, all of the kind of stuff.
Lee, is
that
this
you
just a
want to do.
screenshot that you're showing here?
Absolutely not. This is the real designs. This is actually looking into it exactly as you're going to see it inside Altium Designer. Any changes that I would make there are going to be automatically synced here. So there's no concept of kind of exporting or anything like that. It's just going to be there. It's just going to work. So we can come in and do things like search, everything is kind of indexed. So it's very easy for me to kind of navigate and find out what I want to see inside the schematic. Really straightforward.
So schematic, though, that seems a little easier than layout. Layout usually, there's more complexity involved in that. Can I see actually my layout here as well?
Well, to be honest, it wouldn't be complete without layout, would it? So, I mean, as well as the schematic that we've got here, we've also got layout. And I'm going to show you that right now as well. So let's just click on the PCB dock, and you're going to see this in all of its glory. So again, we can pan around this, we can zoom in, we can select things like polygons, we can select traces, we can inspect components, particular paths, all of that. It's all just here in the browser. We have layer selection as well, so we can turn on and turn off what we are or what we aren't interested in. Very, very straightforward here to use. So absolutely, layout here. And again, this layout is exactly as you would see it in Altium Designer. Make any changes there, they're just going to be reflected in here in real time.
So this is connected to the actual
This is
design.
completely connected. Same data, same everything.
All right. Well, what about? So I mean, sometimes it's helpful. I actually want to see what's my finished board going to actually look like. Is that possible for me here?
Absolutely. I mean, this really wouldn't be complete without 3D visualization, would it? So let's take a look at that and see what that looks like. So again, through the toolbar menu at the top, we can just click on 3D view, and there we have it in all of its glory. Again, we can zoom, we can pan, and we can see this board as exactly as you would see it inside Altium Designer as well.
So I just want to verify, we're looking at a web browser right now. This is not inside of Altium Designer.
It's not inside Altium Designer. There's no plugins installed or anything like that. It's completely native to the web browser.
So anybody I want to share this with, this is what they say. They just point their web browser. If they've got permissions that you've given them, then they can go in and they can do this. They can move that board around. They can see what it looks like, interact with the schematic, with layout, any of those things.
Exactly.
So a manufacturer literally could say, start guiding me as the design is evolving to things I can do and things I shouldn't do.
Exactly that. So we've also got, as well as being able to consume all of this, see the schematics, see the PCB layout in 2D and 3D, we've also got the ability to comment on this. So it's not just a consumption, there's an interactive aspect, an element to this. So with the commenting capability, what we can actually do is select a particular component inside a schematic. We could select an area on the board or anything like that, particular electronic subsystem, and make some comments. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to select an area of this board. So let's say this input power stage, for instance. Okay. Can I Q13, please?
So Lee, you just changed the screens. What are we seeing on the
so let me give you a bit of information about what I've done there. So on the left-hand side, we've got the web browser, as you've just been seeing on both displays. On the right-hand side now, we've actually got Altium Designer running. Okay, so, but they're looking at the same data sources, all right? So as I come in and I want to make a comment on this, like I say, I'm going to say, check out input power stage, something like that. We can just leave a comment on this. And as I post that, that comment's going to actually then show up to me in Altium Designer in real time. So these things are all completely connected, as you can see there. I get the comment shows up there, shows up in my web browser. Everything's just synced. So you can see that a manufacturer, procurement personnel, anyone else who's interested in any aspect of the design can come in, comment it in the browser, and it's actually going to show up in my tool. So this is much better than like an email, for instance, that I might get. It might end up lost or buried. I might forget about it. It might be something someone said to me on the phone. Right now, when I come back into the design, that comment's there. I'm not going to miss it. I have to be able to action it. It's just there.
That's pretty awesome. But imagine a different scenario. Imagine that. Imagine it's the end of my workday, and I actually have shut down my machine, or maybe I've walked away from my machine and I think about something that I need to do, but I'm tired. It's the end of the day. I don't want to do it. Could I leave myself a note even and have that there for me to remind me the next day to not to forget about that? In fact, actually, let me take it a step further. Yeah, I travel a lot. I'm on the move a lot. I'm between buildings and facilities, and a lot of times I don't have access to my computer in order to do that. But I do carry my phone with me or my tablet with me. Wouldn't it be awesome if I was able to
What, like
use
see it on your iPad or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
exactly,
that?
exactly.
An iPad like this, maybe, for instance. Could we Q7, please? So now Altium Designer
You're like a mind reader, Lee. It's awesome.
is not only in the browser, it's actually come to iPad as well. So this is truly single application, multiple platform. So what I'm going to do now is just log into this app. I mean, I could be anywhere, literally anywhere. Off stage, walking around. I'm going to have exactly the same experience in the iPad as I'm going to have in the browser or in the tool. So what you're seeing now is the same projects that we saw up on the browser, okay? All of these nice kind of thumbnails, and we can click on one of these. So you see, we can open the design. What you're seeing now is the 2D view of that PCB. Okay, exactly the same. This is completely native app, all right? Now, you can also now switch into 3D mode, okay? So we get the rendering of the board in the app as well. With 3D visualization, working beautifully, super smooth.
So Lee, that thing's built for the iPad. It's built for mobile app, right? It's not just the browser, and we have to worry about the screen.
It's not just the browser in the app, it's a true app. Could we Q14, please? Okay, so it's not just for consumption. We can also, as Ted mentioned, how would you be able to leave yourself a note or whatever on this? So we've also got the ability to comment. So again, we can come into this, and this is the comment that I left a little bit earlier. I'm now going to reply back to this. Okay, we'll check. You can see. On the right-hand side, we've got the web browser. You can see that the comment was just updated automatically. On the left-hand side, this is exactly what I'm looking at now on the iPad. All of these things are completely linked, and this is really the power of Altium365. Today, all of these things work in harmony, in sync. It just works, Ted.
It looks easy.
It is easy. It's just so easy.
It actually even seems convenient.
It is convenient.
So Lee, what you just did, that's also going to show up in Altium Designer?
Absolutely, yeah. So could we Q13 again, please? So again, Altium Designer on the right-hand side, you can see I've got my comment on there. Okay, we'll check. So again, everything's just completely in sync. Any comments that I put on the design onto any device are going to be propagated in real time to anything that's actually connected to Altium 365.
That seems pretty cool to me. And in fact, I don't know about you, Lee, but I would be pretty confident to say I actually think this is an industry first, right? That we can, from any device,